All right, I'm back. So for those of you that are new here, you wouldn't know that I've taken like a 2-month break from YouTube. But for those of you that have been here, I didn't mean to take a 2-month break from YouTube, but life just kind of caught up with me, and we've been so busy, like with his album and our wedding coming up and just all that we've had going on. So today's video, without further ado, is a life update video. So I wanted to talk about, I guess, the wedding first, because it's coming up so soon. So our wedding is on April 18th, and today is, what day? March 12th. So our wedding is literally just around the corner, and I pretty much had the whole thing planned the second that he asked me to marry him, because we had talked about marriage for a while. I knew that he was the man I was going to marry, and I knew exactly what I wanted for us. We had talked about like elopement and things like that, and I was totally down, but he really wanted our families to be there and our friends to be there, and for it to just be like this big, fun, extravagant thing, because it's a one-time thing that we're gonna do, you know? So we're not, I guess we could like renew our vows down the road and stuff, but this is like our one wedding, so we might as well make it big and beautiful and exactly what we want it to be. So our wedding theme is A Midsummer Night's Dream. I believe I'm saying that right. It's like a tongue twister for me for some reason, but basically, like, and I hope that that's even the right way to describe it, but it's like lots of greenery, lots of flowers too, like all shades of pink, all shades of purple, and all shades of blue, amongst a ton of greenery, lots of fairy lights, like very secret garden, like enchanted themed, butterflies, and like, but in the classiest way, and just like really foresty and that kind of like magical vibe, because I feel like that's very much what our romance vibe is like fairy tale, and I just thought that it would be really beautiful for like an evening wedding. So I've been planning that like crazy. I will say that I had our vendors all picked out within like 2 or 3 months after he had asked me to marry him, but now that it's like crunch time, it's just going over contracts and like finalizing things and bridal showers and making sure that I get invitations to everyone, and I'm like hand filling them out. So just stuff like that I've been super busy with. My dress, I got it at the Say Yes to the Dress Atlanta store, Bridals by Lori. They're great. Shout out to Abby Duncan. Yeah, so I had to like go back and forth to Atlanta a lot. I had to go to get my, like, to pick it out, then I had to go when it came in and try it on, and then I had to go back and pick it up so that I could go have it altered before the wedding. So I just went and picked it up, and I would love to show you guys my dress, but unfortunately I can't do that because then someone would see it, and we're not even going to do a first look at our wedding. We're just gonna, he's gonna see me for the first time when I come down the aisle, because I want him to cry. I just want to catch him off guard. He's a tough guy, but when it comes to his family and those that he loves, he's a softie, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna get a tear out of him on that day in that dress. So that's wedding stuff. It's pretty much all planned, all done, all taken care of. Now I'm just ready for the night to come so that we can enjoy it. Like I said, it's April 18th, so not far away, and now I get to just kind of sit back and put the responsibility on my mother and my sister, and thank God for them, because they're handling everything from here with my coordinator, of course, and I'm just chilling on the wedding aspect, and I'm just gonna show up and be fabulous, as my coordinator says, Chris Lavender, and she's also great. Shout out to her. So that's wedding. What else did I want to touch on? Home renovations. So I had mentioned, I think before, that we were building a home, and we still are. We've only gotten as far as building the pool right now because we've just been so busy, and like it's just chaotic. We were renting a house here in Gadsden, and so we just ended up purchasing it as well. while we're building. So we just decided that for now it would be best for us to just kind of like pause the building process because of all that we have going on, and maybe just stay here for maybe another 2 years, maybe. I don't know, I could be wrong. We could be here a lot longer, or we could get sick of it and move. But we bought this place and we really love it. We've been making it our own. It's like this old house that used to be like a restaurant at one point, a consignment shop. So it's got a lot of history, which I think is so cool, and it's really big. And we got it at a great price because of the location. Gadsden is just a cheap place to live, so we got a great deal on it, and it has enough room for him to have a studio, for us to have our room, Lyric to have his room. We've got the living room, and then we also are building a bar to have like a bar room. We've got a room for like a pool table and to watch the game in, and then I have a room that is going to be dedicated to like my work, like filming videos, but also for like a big project that I'm working on that I kind of want to talk about in a minute as well. So I'll have like my office workspace, and then we had a kitchen on this side that was like the tiniest little kitchen, and it was so hard to cook out of, so we just completely ripped out everything in there and just made it like a coffee nook area. And then we moved the kitchen down some and made it a bigger space, and his dad is making us, Clever's dad is making us like some custom cabinets for it, and we got all new appliances for it that just came in like a few days ago. So that's really exciting because we went like 2 weeks without a kitchen and just eating takeout, and I don't even want to think about takeout right now. So lots of home renovations. It's still kind of a mess just because we still have construction going on and we're living amongst it, but it's coming together exactly how we want it to, and it's turning out really beautiful. But we painted all of the doors black, like all of the interior and exterior doors black, instead of just like your traditional white or wood, and I think that looks really cool. We replaced all of the floors. They were like this old Berber carpet, and now we have like new carpet in some spots and like stained concrete, and we did leave some of the original hardwood because it was nice. And what else? We've painted like all the walls. We're replacing the bathtub with a bigger bathtub because we're such bath people. We just have done so much. We had a built-in fish tank in the wall that my fish Burton was in, and he died like 2 days ago, so that really fucking sucked. I loved my fish. I know it sounds silly, but he was a betta fish, and I got him as a baby betta fish, and he was like this big, and I watched him grow to be like big and beautiful, and his tank just had a lot of issues, so I got him a bigger and better one and did everything that I was supposed to. Filtered his water for 24 hours. It was the right temperature. I had a heater in it. I mean, I did everything I was supposed to, and I think just the shock of like switching tanks was just too much for him, and he passed away. So that's really sad, but it's okay. Burton is in fishy heaven now. So we have a hole in the wall for a fish tank, so we are going to get some more fish. This time around, I think we're just going to get like 10 of those little glow fish so that I don't get attached, and they're just pretty, you know. I mean, of course I'll care about them, but like I got attached because it was one fish that I watched grow up, you know. And with these glow fish, I feel like maybe if something were to happen, I would just like, you know, be like, oh man, okay, like maybe, I don't know, does that sound awful? Okay, anyway, we have a fish tank hole in the wall. So home renovations, wedding, great stuff. And then his album just dropped, and my brain is kind of everywhere, and it might come off that way in this video, but I'm going to get to that in a second about why that is. But yeah, so his album came out, and it's been so nice to have all the love and support for that, because I'm telling you, the work and time and dedication that I watched him put into this album, and that we all put into this album, I mean like hours, staying up all night, traveling to LA and back, and LA and back, and I mean like we would be there for like a week, have to come home for family reasons and then go straight back. And it was a lot of traveling in a short amount of time, and it was a lot of time in the studio, a lot of calling around trying to pin specific people down to do their part in this project and to get clearances in time, and waiting on lawyers, and very, very stressful time, but also for the best reason, for this album to be able to come out for you guys. But I'm telling you, he really went through the ringer to get this thing out. So I really hope that you guys love it, and it seems like you do, because the love and support that you have shown, like I've said, has really lifted our spirits. You know, the past few days for me before today have been they almost don't feel real, because we kind of went through something that was really hard. We have been trying for a baby. We want a baby very badly. We have a name picked out, a gender neutral name. We are so ready. We have a room in this house getting ready, just getting ready in the fact that like we're redoing the sheetrock, and it's going to be a bare room that we can decorate however, that we're holding for a baby. And we've been trying, and it takes time sometimes, you know, so we're both perfectly healthy and able to have children, thank God. But so after trying for a little while, we went to Portland, Oregon not that long ago, and I was late on my menstrual cycle, and so I Instacart delivered some groceries, and I just threw some pregnancy tests in on the grocery list, and grocery list, and I waited until the last day we were there, because that was the day that my menstrual cycle would have like really been, I should have had it, and I hadn't had it yet. And so I took a test, and it was positive, plain as day. It was positive, 2 lines. So I couldn't believe it, and I ran outside to where it was our last day there, and Clever and Lyric were packing up the car, and I always told myself that when I got a positive, I would surprise him in some cute and silly way, but I couldn't help it. We had been trying, and we wanted it so bad. So I ran out, and I showed him, and there it was, and it was our positive test, and we went to Walgreens, and I took 3 more just to make sure, and even a digital, and they were all positive. And we were elated. We were on the moon. And the reason that I don't seem that way now is because not very long after, I had this gut feeling, and I guess that's what they say, you know, maternal instinct kicks in, and I had this feeling that I needed to get my HCG levels checked, which is the pregnancy hormone. So I went to just like an urgent care around here, and I won't say which one because I don't want to bash them, but I went there and asked for blood work to be done for my HCG levels, and they acted like they didn't know what that was, which of course they have to know what that is, but they acted like that was not something that they knew how to do. And they said that I thought I was pregnant, which I knew I was. I was about 4.5, 5 weeks pregnant, and I knew that you know, that they would take a urine test. And I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to just do that. Maybe they can test something. Maybe they can test it that way somehow. And they're not being very communicative, whatever, with me about what they're going to do with my urine. So I give a urine sample, and they bring back a positive pregnancy test and say, congratulations, you're pregnant, and show me the test. And the line is so faint, so much fainter than the first one, and I just felt like I knew that that wasn't right, and I didn't say anything, and I just saw the test and said, okay, thank you, and went home. And I couldn't shake the feeling that that was not right, and it wasn't right. So so that night I got out of the bathtub, and I started bleeding, and and I'm not going to cry on camera because I've spent 2 days crying, and I've come to terms with it, and we're fine. But we're not going to let it stop us. But I started bleeding, and we went to the emergency room right away. He was in the middle of a Zoom call with a million people on it because this album was coming, and I felt so bad to even go tell him. But I was panicking because I just knew. And so he hung up on the Zoom call and drove me to the hospital, and they drew my blood to check my HCG levels, like I had tried to do earlier that day when I felt like something was wrong. And nothing could have been done to save it, if I would have found out earlier, but maybe it just wouldn't have felt like such a low blow later. Babe, is that you? Alright, I don't want you to listen. But, anyway, so they drew blood, to check my HCG levels like I wanted to do earlier, and, when they did, they came back and said that my HCG level was at a 9, and at 5 weeks pregnant, 4 weeks pregnant, a 9 is very low, and pretty much is a miscarriage. And so the doctor informed me that I was having a miscarriage, and that at 9 they would no longer even consider me pregnant, So the process had started, and I was just now seeing it physically. And so we went through that. That's enough of that. We went through it. We dealt with it in our own ways. We spent time together here. We were there for each other. We didn't leave bed. And, he handled the business that he had to handle to get this album out. And now let's get it back to the positive. And so this album came out, and you guys love it, seem to love it, and your reactions have been so nice, and the love and support has really, really lifted our spirits and helped us so much. And now I am past the hard part of the process that I had to go through with that particular subject. So now our plan is just to get this house done and get these renovations done and get it exactly where we want it, which we're almost there, and have a beautiful wedding with all of our friends and family there, and try for a baby again. And as soon as I'm healthy, which should be now, thank God for that, we're gonna get right back to it. We want a baby, so we're gonna keep on trying, and then we're gonna go on our honeymoon. I forgot to mention that too. So we have the wedding, and then immediately the day after we have a honeymoon plan to go to the Maldives, which was gonna be nice regardless. We were looking forward to it, but now especially it's gonna be so much needed and just incredible, and I can't wait for that. We're going to this beautiful resort. We got one of those like overwater bungalows. I'll insert some pictures and stuff and show you, but I'm looking forward to it so much. It's like a 23-hour plane ride, so I'm a little freaked out about that because as much as we fly, I'm still not quite used to it. I think I'm always going to be scared of it. It just freaks me out. Something about being that high up and not being able to get off, and like, God forbid, a plane crash is just like my worst nightmare. But it's going to be so much fun to experience flying that far with him and being newly married, and that's another thing. I'm all over the place. Okay, let me jump back a little. We're married. I don't know how I skipped over that. I'm my brain, just give me a break. But we're married. So one night we were just chit-chatting. We were coming back from Birmingham. We were doing Christmas shopping, and it was December 2nd, and we were like, we want to get married now. Like, our wedding is a lot further away than we realized. We got engaged in August of 2020, And we planned our wedding for April of 2021 thinking, oh, that'll be like the perfect amount of time for us to plan it and like have time to do so, and you know, it'll go by really fast. And now it's just dragging on, or it was at that point. Now it's right around the corner, but it was just dragging on, and we wanted to be married. So we literally decided in the car on the way home from Target in Birmingham that we were going to wake up in the morning and go to the courthouse and get married. So I'll also insert footage of that day here. We've been keeping that little secret, but we've been kind of like calling each other husband and wife on social media, so I think that y'all picked up on it. But so our wedding is now really just a wedding celebration and like party and a show, but it is our wedding day and it's very special to us, and I can't wait for it, and we just have so much to look forward to in the future. And that brings me back to what I had mentioned about my workspace here and a project that I'm working on. So I have like purchased a website, a domain name and all that, and have my website, but it's on private right now. I'll give you a hint. I am going to be selling something, but that's all I'm gonna say. It's something that I've always been interested in. I've never dabbled in. We talked about it one night, and he's super motivating and supportive all the time of anything I want to do, and he was like, yeah, do it, let's do it, let's get the stuff for you to try it. So we got some stuff. I tried this project, loved it, did great at it, and was super inspired, and we went all out and bought every single thing that I would possibly need to run a business off of this, I do believe. So that's in the works as well. As soon as the room here is completely done and has like everything that I need in it for me to be able to do what I need to do to make this product to get to you, then I will tell you more about that. But just know that I have some big things in store. We've gotten a lot of the big stuff out of the way, and we're just gonna keep on trucking. I think that this year is gonna be such a huge year for us and for his career and our lives in general. And 2020 was crazy for everyone, so maybe this can be a year where we find normalcy again. And yeah, wow, I filmed another YouTube video. Successfully, I hope. I watch them back sometimes, and sorry, there's like dust flying. I watch them back sometimes and I'm like, I hate them and never post them because I'm really self-critical, and I don't know when that started because I used to be very confident in front of the camera, but I'll get there again. And you will see this video. This one is going up. It's going up. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. If you, at the end of my video, there will be like a circle with a picture of me in it, and if you're not subscribed, if you just click that, it'll subscribe you to my channel. Just that easy. So you should totally do that for me. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I love you all so much, and your love and support, I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, but your love and support really does mean so much to us and has really brightened up our lives recently. So thank you so much.